Hey guys, let's do our first Q&A video. Now, I received a lot of messages on Instagram, and by the way, if you're not following me over there, feel free to do so. I'll leave the name right below so that you can check it out. And let's just jump into it. So the first question which I received is from Darmy Grace, and basically it's hi, thanks for your comment, and I'd like to learn more about UI and UX for Android and iOS. Can you help me out? For sure. So when it comes to iOS and Android, I think that the first thing to do is to actually check out their guides. Now for Android, you have the Google Material guides, so I will definitely encourage you to check out their website and really learn the ins and outs of those guidelines. And the same is true for Apple iOS. They have the human interface guidelines, and I would highly suggest you to check them out and possibly start a project and start using their templates and a UI kit for such as the iOS UI kit from Great Simple Studio. Have a look around and try to get a feeling for that specific platform. Now, one thing that I would recommend is to actually just stick and specialize with the platform which you're using on your day-to-day. So, for example, in my case, I have an iPhone, so I'm only focusing on iOS and just taking iOS projects. I don't do Android, although I've done several projects with Android before, but I noticed that since I'm not a daily user of Android, I don't have the same feeling for some UX patterns and things of that nature. And although this might make my possibilities of working and or might restrict my opportunities, I think that it's something that it's actually helping me to do higher quality projects and find the clients which are really looking for that expert in that specific area. So I don't take all type of projects, but I only take like a smaller amount just because of that reason. Now, this is something that you may agree that you may do too, but it really depends on you. That's just my take on it. So this is it. Let's jump on to the next question. Okay, so that's from Viet Grades, and I just started out as a designer, but I'm completely unaware of how to earn. Can you please tell me what is needed to be done? So, well, let's start by saying this. As you start out in your design career, I would highly suggest you to just jump on a course or be mentored by someone who actually teaches you the basic of the craft, and I would just really learn as much as you can before jumping into the industry. But that being said, it doesn't have to take like years upon years. You don't necessarily have to go to college to learn this. I think that once you have the base, once you learn the basic of the design theory, design software, and you already worked on some personal projects, I think that the best way to really start out learning is to take an internship. And I mean, if the opportunities is good, I would consider even taking it for free, simply because the learning experience can really pay like a lot of money more in the long term. But that depends on your situation, if that is something that you can afford doing, and depending on the situation and opportunity really. But that would be my biggest suggestion. So let's go to the next one, which is from Scienza Connection. And how would I start to sketch to design an ebook layout? So the way I would do it, and if I understood, you're actually referring to the software Sketch. I would have all of the content already established, so if it was for a client project, I actually worked on an ebook project not too long ago. So basically the way it went is I had a briefing with the client talking about the ebook in general, understanding his needs, why he needed it, and understanding where is the ebook going to be in their funnel, and trying to learn about the whys of that specific ebook. And after that, I received the content in the form of a Word document from the client. And basically, after that, I jumped into Sketch and created A4 pages. And by the way, this was like an experiment which I did. Usually for ebooks, I would use InDesign because it's a software which is specifically made for magazines, and it's really easy to work with these kind of layouts. But since the ebook was very short, it wasn't like a big one, I just wanted to give it a shot in Sketch. And basically what I did was selecting the A4 sizes, and I created a few pages, and literally I would work on it just like any other project. There wasn't really anything special in the process, but yeah, that's what I did. However, one thing that I noticed is that when working in Sketch on these type of projects, ebooks especially, you have some issues that occur compared to using InDesign. So I think that from now on, whenever I'll take these kind of projects, I'll use InDesign. So that's just my take on it. So let's go to the next one. Okay, is it best to learn Sketch as a UX designer, or should I learn Adobe XD, or both? Now, I would say that both of them are great tools. Actually, I've been really big on Sketch, and I've been using it daily for the past years. And recently, I actually noticed that Adobe XD really made some great improvements in the latest updates. And I think that 2019 is going to be the year in which I'll focus more on Adobe XD. So you're also going to find more tutorials on this channel on Adobe XD compared to Sketch. I mean, Sketch is definitely going to stay there, and I'm going to continue to use it as the primary design tool, but I'm definitely reconsidering Adobe XD. Now, that being said, and going back to your question, I think that both of them are just fine. Like, just decide one, focus on that one, forget about the other, at least as you're first starting out. And yeah, I mean, it's those are two great tools, so you definitely cannot go wrong with neither of them. I have a question from Dosa, and he wanted to ask how to start, how to be a designer, what to do first. So again, this is a loaded question. Short answer is just find a course, maybe like 3 to 6 month course, just learn the basics. If you have the opportunity to take some coaching from someone who's already working in the field and has experience and is already where you want to be, that would be a great solution if you can pull that off. And yeah, I mean, I think that's the short answer, because of course you can learn a lot on YouTube, and in my channel, for example, you can learn a lot of stuff for free. But if you're starting out and you really want to go from point A to Z in the shortest amount of time, I'd say that a course will really have all the content that you need and the knowledge that you need in a way by which you will follow it sequentially and get to that point much faster. So, as a beginner, you don't even know what to focus on first. So yeah, that's definitely something which I would recommend you to do. To just take a course and learn the basics from that. And this can be even an online course. It does not have to be in the class. Matter of fact, there are so many great online courses I can recommend. Like, for example, the one from The Future. Those are great. I'm not sure if they have like a basic one, but it's definitely they have a lot of good stuff over there. If you want to learn like the basics of softwares, there's many websites out there like Udemy, lynda.com, Team Treehouse. There really is a lot. So yeah, I mean that's that when it comes to the course. Like I would just suggest you to do a course, essentially. So I think this is it for this very first Q&A. Was super excited about it, and I'm planning to do more of these. And guys, I received so many questions. If I apologize if I don't, if I didn't answer it in this Q&A, but be sure that I'm going to create many more of these. So keep those questions coming, and ping me again on Instagram, especially Instagram DMs. That's where I mostly focus on to get the questions for these Q&As. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment below with more questions, or leave me a DM on Instagram. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.